Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. The red rolling toolbox is in the background, so that means we're working on something. And today, it's Catch 22, the 1936 Caterpillar 22. We performed quite a few checks on this in the last episode, but then found the mag was not sparking, and that pretty much stopped us in our tracks. So, brief update of the work that's been done since. I did go to the parts store and purchased a good new make-your-own plug wire kit. Solid core. So we have correct, proper spark plug wires on it now. Better than that hodgepodge kit that I knocked together last time. And Senior did not have to do a full rebuild on the magneto. This is the Eisman CM4. But he said he cleaned some stuff up inside and it's sparking okay now. He's seen better, but he's also seen worse. It's good enough to try. So first order of business is going to be getting this timed back up with the engine. And to do that, I'm going to pull the valve cover back off so that we can watch valves and get a pretty good idea of when number one cylinder starts coming up on compression stroke. All right, we're watching these two valves right here for number one. So we'll just start rolling the engine. And we definitely put some compression back into it, which is good. Okay, exhaust valve has just started to open. So, cylinder one piston is on its way up, pushing all the exhaust out. Exhaust valve closed, and now intake. Yes, intake's opening, so that means piston's on its way back down, drawing in some fresh air and fuel. And intake valve just closed. So, we are on the way up on compression stroke. Now we look at the marks that are on the crankshaft pulley. Looking at the inner flange of the crankshaft pulley, there are 3 stampings, and you're probably not going to see them with the GoPro, so I'll throw some pictures up. The first stamping is right here, and it happens to be the lightest of all of them. It is the MAG mark, M-A-G, with a scribe line just behind the M, all right? And then behind that, we have TC 1 and 4 with a scribe line in the middle. That is top dead center on cylinders 1 and 4. And then further behind that, we have exhaust closed 1 and 4 with its own scribe line. But the mark we need is the MAG mark, and we need to rotate this spot on the crankshaft pulley around until we align with a scribe line, and it's way too dark over here, that is on the front cover in this spot right here. So I'll continue rolling by hand, watching for that MAG mark to come around. Again, I'll use a picture when I get this lined up because I know it's pretty hard to see with this GoPro. So there is, I can see MAG. Now, just bump it. Right there, I like it. The scribe behind the letter M on the MAG mark is in register with the scribe line on the front cover. And having our MAG mark aligned places number one piston at 30 degrees before top dead center on compression stroke, which is the proper firing point for the magneto. Now, to set the magneto to the engine, we will do 3 things. First, we will take this machine screw out right here. Make sure we keep track of it. Don't lose it. Next, we will take this brass plug out the top. There is a gasket under it. Make sure not to lose that. And third, we will take the cap off the back. So what we do now is start rotating the impulse coupling in the direction of rotation. And they give us this little arrow right here that shows that it rotates in this direction, just like so. Another thing that's handy to look at is the lag angle mark that is on the impulse coupling here. And this says lag angle of 35 degrees. And that's good. That verifies we've got the proper impulse coupling in here, because if the firing point of the magneto is 30 degrees before top dead center, having an impulse lag of 35 ensures that you get that well past before this fires off, and that makes sure that it doesn't kick back and try to hurt you and whatnot. So we'll start rotating this coupling, and okay, we're already coming up against the impulse. So that is why we took that machine screw out the top. What you do, bring it up against that hard stop of the impulse, and I use a drill bit, but even a small screwdriver would do. You can stick a tool down in there, disengage that impulse pawl, and keep going until we hit it again. Disengage it again. We can keep rotating, and what we have to watch is this large gear here that's just behind the rotor. You see that shiny dot right off the end of my finger? That is a pointer indicator, and there's a sharp indicator point on the back side of that gear. So we need to get that around up to the top. So we'll disable this impulse one more time. Okay. And we look back here. Our indicator is just about at the top, and now we look down through this hole here that we took that brass plug out of. And what we want to do is rotate it around, and I'm throwing another photo up right now, until the sharp point of that indicator peg aligns with a sharp point that is cast into the aluminum boss just inside. And we have it right there. And looking at our rotor contact, it is in register with this carbon brush down here on this corner. And looking at the corresponding port on the cap, sure enough, there you see the number 1. So we know we have the engine positioned where it needs to be, the magneto is positioned where it needs to be, and firing order is the standard 1, 3, 4, 2, just like most 4 cylinders. So to position our plug wires, our rotor travels in this direction, so that means we need to hook the wires up with number 1 right here, number 3 right there, number 4 right there, number 2 down there. Now, say for some reason you couldn't find any marks in there, or you couldn't find any marks on your crankshaft pulley, you can bum time this as well. As long as you know firing order is 1, 3, 4, 2, it doesn't matter where this rotor contact ends up with your ports. You just start with whichever port is in line with your contact, and then just start counting 1, 3, 4, 2 around from there. But if you want to get it right on, using those marks and those marks is really the only way to do it. So throw our floating coupling on and get it lined up with the drive tangs coming out of the engine. Now get the mag lined up with the alignment dowels at the base. There we are. Tighten the base bolts, and we can put our plugs back in, machine screw back in there, and just give this one a quick cinch on top there. Another thing to check is the end clearance of the floating coupling. We need 15 thousandths, and we're good. So we can slide the impulse cover back, tighten those screws, and finally, plug wires. We begin with our cylinder 1, and remember, 1 is down here, and then it goes number 3 up here, number 4 right there, number 2 right there. Get those popped in, and we'll move on to the next. Alright everybody, I think we are put together enough to give this a try. Let's see if it'll make some noise. I just bungeed a little temporary kicker gasoline tank onto the fender there, and rubber line to the carburetor inlet. No air cleaner for now. We don't need that for a trial run. So let's see what it wants to do. Okay, we are in neutral. I've given it just a little bit of throttle.
Okay.
Give it a little prime. Yeah, a little bit of a prime.
Well, we got one primer couple, so we'll have to go halfway.
Yeah, they plugged the other one on us.
Do a choke?
Yeah.
fine. That was dripping, yeah.
Maybe we should check for spark again.
Yeah, probably won't hurt.
All right, wheel it over, give it a try. Yeah. Yeah, I'm seeing spark. We have spark. All right, we'll keep going. Ready?
Ready.
Oh, there we go. I want to prime it again.
Yeah. That suction, I could feel pretty good suction on it.
This is where I'd like to have two priming cups and get all the cylinders, right?
Well, it's promising anyway.
Wants to. More throttle, you think, or?
Well, you could. I'm not sure how much choke to give it either.
Yeah, I don't know. We're learning.
Haven't figured it out yet. Doesn't sound too bad. Yeah. Yeah, we're running 35 psi oil. That's good. That's as slow as it runs. That's low throttle right there. All right, it just shut off and I don't know why. Did we run out of gas? We might have run out of gas. You didn't have much in there.
And that is a big carburetor bowl.
Close. I'll give you a little choke.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Take a test drive. See if it moves on its own power. Oh, you
says nothing's happening there.
There's something very wrong in the clutch.
Okay.
You push the pedal all the way down, it starts grinding, and it's not releasing. Here, come listen to it.
That don't sound good.
No, it doesn't release at all, so we won't be driving today. We can listen to it run though.
I don't even think we have to adjust that carburetor.
No, it sounds good. Best I can do for load is to give it a quick throttle. It doesn't stumble at all though.
Oh,
Well, that clutch is kind of disappointing. I'd hope to drive it a little bit today. Might see if I can't make it shut off by grounding the mag.
well, if you hook up a switch, you'll have that made.
Yeah, boy, honestly, I'm pretty happy with how it sounds. But yeah, that clutch is a little disappointing. And I can't figure it out either, because the way these work, when you push this ahead, you should feel it come up against the clutch brake.
Yep.
And then when you hit that hard stop and put more pressure on it, that stops all the gears from spinning, and then you can try to put it in gear. But you get all the way down where that clutch brake should be, and it starts making that noise, and it starts bouncing
Chattering.
the pedal. And when I was on here, I tried just nudging it into a gear, and they just ground. So it's
Yeah.
like the clutch isn't releasing at all.
And maybe a mice got in there and built a nest in it.
And that's very possible.
They have
Boy,
been
all in
known
all,
to.
for a first start, I really can't complain.
No, it went pretty good.
We won a little bit, but
Yeah.
Catch 22 still wins a lot.
It's not a total disaster. There's still hope here.
There's still hope. I think it at least deserves a greasing of the undercarriage anyway.
Yeah.
Boy, it takes these big old Zenith carburetors a long time to run out of gas. I pulled the kicker tank off. It's been running here for about 2 minutes just on what was in the float bowl. But, all right, after action report. Not displeased at all with how that engine performs. Really, really impressed with it. Smooth, and we got a good warm too. That's full operating temp right there. And good exhaust note, nice and even, holds good oil pressure, 35 psi on the gauge this whole time. And we've definitely gained more compression still, now that we've had a little bit of heat in it. See, I used to be able just to push that right around, but no more. Good squeeze. So yeah, that's front half I'm pretty happy with. Middle now. We're gonna have to look into. Just thinking back to when I was into my Cat 10, which is a very similar clutch and transmission setup. It's just a little bit smaller. I'm wondering, I'll probably have to pull the fuel tank off, but it is possible that the clutch brake cone may just be off of the input shaft kind of tube housing, if you will. Just thinking back to how all that stuff is put together, but yeah, I'm pretty sure pulling the fuel tank and then getting into that inspection cover, having a good look is going to be step number one. It's possible if that clutch brake cone is just no longer being held in place, I'm traveling that clutch release fork too far, and possibly the yoke is starting to get into the back of the pressure plate. My brain's just scrambling here trying to construct what may be going on. But yeah, getting a good first look is step number one, and I don't know when I'm going to get to that, let alone if I end up splitting this thing in half. So priority is RD6. We know this runs. Tomorrow I'm probably going to be back on the RD6 because the paint on that engine stand is just about dry, and I need to keep ripping and tearing on that. But it was a fun day with little Catch 22. You win again, little guy. Yep, it's all right. Incremental, baby steps. And I hope you all enjoyed the adventure. I hope to see you all back on the next one. I think we got some good prospects here.